Grace team led by Howard H. Aiken. In 1949, she joined the Eckert-Mauchly Computer Corporation and was part of the team that developed the UNIVAC I computer. At Eckert-Mauchly she managed the development of one of the first COBOL compilers. She believed that programming should be simplified with an English-based computer programming language. Her compiler converted English terms into machine code understood by computers. By 1952, Hopper had finished her program linker, originally called a compiler, which was written for the A0 system. During her wartime service, she co-authored 3 papers based on her work on the Harvard Mark I. She is accredited with writing the first computer manual, a manual of operation for the automatic sequence-controlled calculator. In 1954, Eckert-Mauchly chose Hopper to lead their department for automatic programming, and she led the release of some of the first compiled languages like Flowmatic. In 1959, she participated in the Codicil Consortium, which consulted Hopper to guide them in creating a machine-independent programming language. This led to the COBOL language, which was inspired by her idea of a language being based on English words. Hopper promoted use of the language throughout the 60s. In 1966, she retired from the Naval Reserve, but in 1967 the Navy recalled her to active duty. She retired from the Navy in 1986 and found work as a consultant for the Digital Equipment Corporation, sharing her computing experiences. The U.S. Navy Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer USS Hopper was named for her, as was the Cray XE-6 Hopper supercomputer at NRSC. During her lifetime, Hopper was awarded 40 honorary degrees from universities across the world. A college at Yale University was renamed in her honor. In 1991, she received the National Medal of Technology. On November 22, 2016, she was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Barack Obama. Early life and education. Grace Brewster Murray was born in New York City. She was the eldest of 3 children. Her parents, Walter Fletcher Murray and Mary Campbell Van Horn, were of Scottish and Dutch descent, and attended West End Collegiate Church. Her great-grandfather, Alexander Wilson Russell, an admiral in the U.S. Navy, fought in the Battle of Mobile Bay during the Civil War. Grace was very curious as a child. This was a lifelong trait. At the age of 7, she decided to determine how an alarm clock worked and dismantled 7 alarm clocks before her mother realized what she was doing. She was then limited to 1 clock. For her preparatory school education, she attended the Hartridge School in Plainfield, New Jersey. Grace was initially rejected for early admission to Vassar College at age 16, because her test scores in Latin were too low, but she was admitted the following year. She graduated Phi Beta Kappa from Vassar in 1928 with a bachelor's degree in mathematics and physics and earned her master's degree at Yale University in 1930. In 1930, Grace Murray married New York University professor Vincent Foster Hopper, 1906 to 1976. They divorced in 1945. Although she did not marry again, she retained his surname. In 1934, Hopper earned a Ph.D. in mathematics from Yale under the direction of Oystein Oregon. Her dissertation, New Types of Irreducibility Criteria, was published that same year. She began teaching mathematics at Vassar in 1931, and was promoted to associate professor in 1941. Grace Brewster Hopper career. Hopper tried to enlist in the Navy early in World War II, however she was turned down. At age 34, she was too old to enlist and her weight-to-height ratio was too low. She was also denied on the basis that her job as a mathematician and mathematics professor at Vassar College was valuable to the war effort. During the war in 1943, Hopper obtained a leave of absence from Vassar and was sworn into the United States Navy Reserve. She was one of many women who volunteered to serve in the waves. She had to get an exemption to enlist. She was 15 pounds, 6.8 kilograms, below the Navy minimum weight of 120 pounds, 54 kilograms. She reported in December and trained at the Naval Reserve Midshipmen's School at Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts. Hopper graduated first in her class in 1944, and was assigned to the Bureau of Ships Computation Project at Harvard University as a lieutenant, junior grade. She served on the Mark I computer programming staff headed by Howard H. Aiken. Hopper and Aiken co-authored 3 papers on the Mark I, also known as the Automatic Sequence Controlled Calculator. Hopper's request to transfer to the regular Navy at the end of the war was declined due to her advanced age of 38. She continued to serve in the Navy Reserve. Hopper remained at the Harvard Computation Lab until 1949, turning down a full professorship at Vassar in favor of working as a research fellow under a Navy contract at Harvard. COBOL. In the spring of 1959, computer experts from industry and government were brought together in a 2-day conference known as the Conference on Data Systems Languages, CODASYL. Hopper served as a technical consultant to the committee, and many of her former employees served on the short-term committee that defined the new language COBOL, an acronym for Common Business-Oriented Language. The new language extended Hopper's Flowmatic language with some ideas from the IBM equivalent, COMTRAN. Hopper's belief that programs should be written in a language that was close to English, rather than in machine code or in languages close to machine code, such as assembly languages, was captured in the new business language, and COBOL went on to be the most ubiquitous business language to date. Among the members of the committee that worked on COBOL was Mount Holyoke College alumna Jean E. Sammet. From 1967 to 1977, Hopper served as the director of the Navy Programming Languages Group in the Navy's Office of Information Systems Planning and was promoted to the rank of captain in 1973. She developed validation software for COBOL and its compiler as part of a COBOL standardization program for the entire Navy.
Subscribe to my channel.